I'm Chris Lewis, firefighter for the Lakeville Fire Department, and welcome to another edition of On Call. The goal of this program is to educate and inform the citizens of Lakeville about how their all-volunteer fire department trains and responds for emergencies. Let's take a look at what's coming up on this edition of On Call. I check in with our rookie firefighters and find out what it's like training to become a firefighter. Next, Fire Chief Mike Meyer highlights some of the work being done to assist the fire department by the Public Safety Foundation. In Ask the Firefighter, Tim Schwab from Station 3 explains how we prevent the water in the fire trucks and hoses from freezing in the winter. I will get you caught up on the latest happenings around the fire department. And Spot the Fire Dog, along with his good buddy Mr. Squirrel, test your knowledge with a winter fire safety quiz. Tonight we're here at Able with Assistant Chief Charlie Smith. Charlie, thanks for joining me tonight.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for being here.
So we're at a rookie training, but first of all, tell me, what's your involvement in the training for these rookies this year?
This year, Apple Valley is hosting the rookie training, so we're supporting Apple Valley and making sure that we provide assistance to help train the new firefighters.
So it's a joint effort with Apple Valley. Anybody else?
It is. It's a joint effort with Apple Valley Fire Department and Farmington Fire Department.
Okay. So what's the reason for that? Would it be a budget thing? Is it just...
There's multiple reasons. One of them is budgetary, shared resources, so we combine our resources. It's easier on everybody as we teach. It's a lot of hours for firefighting. It's about 160 hours just for firefighter 1 and 2. And then we're all mutual aid partners. So as we train together from the beginning, we'll see each other on emergency scenes as time goes on. So it's a collaborative effort.
Okay, so how far along are they in their training at this point?
They're about 4 months, approximately halfway into their firefighter training. And this is the first time that they've actually been out at the Able facility here to put on all their protective gear and actually enter a foreign structure and be able to do different types of activities.
Okay, so what have they done to this point then?
They've learned how to don and doff their protective gear, operate their SCBA, how that operates, different types of tools that they've been through on the fire ground that they'll use in this type of operation, ladders, hose, and all those basic evolutions that they need to combine into a successful search operation or vertical ventilation operation. So.
Okay, and they're not lighting fires in here tonight, right?
No live burns, just familiarization. And these are our basic firefighters. They won't see any kind of live fire until next month they're going to see some live fire.
Okay.
But that'll be their first time, and we want to put everything basic together before we actually get them to the point where they're seeing any kind of live burn.
Oh, tell me, what does the rookie training all entail?
The first part of the training, they start off with EMR training, emergency medical responder. So that's a 40-hour course, and they go through it. They learn how to give first aid and CPR and automatic external defibrillation. Then we move into firefighter 1 and 2, where we learn how to be firefighters. That's the largest part of the course. Probably they're about 7 months into it when they finish. And then at the very end, we move into hazardous materials operations. So it's a pretty intensive. It's once a week that they go to school for about 8 or 9 months.
Okay, and I know that we don't allow them to get on trucks for a certain time frame, and then that's in stages before they can come on for medicals, fires.
Correct. Once they achieve their certifications in different areas, then they can respond on those types of emergencies.
Okay, so what are we doing here tonight up at Able?
Tonight we have a few different evolutions that we're going to be doing. One of them is forcible entry, showing our firefighters how to basically enter a building that's locked or otherwise barricaded. The second evolution will be vertical and horizontal ventilation, teach them how to get smoke and byproducts of fire out of a building in both ways. And then our last one is search and rescue, which is our most important evolution on any fire ground, is to ensure that we do complete searches for fire victims.
Okay, so for like forcible entry, tell me what they would be doing in a building like this for our training building.
Today they have some doors that are jammed. They're going to have to force them with a couple of different sets of forcible entry tools, and basically they're going to be breaking down doors.
Okay,
today.
All right. And then search and rescue, are they going up through different rooms, different levels? How's that all going to work?
Search and rescue today, they'll practice taking a charged hand line in with them like we would on any structure fire, and then moving through a few rooms and doing thorough searches. We're teaching them how to stay oriented also inside a room to make sure that they don't get lost as well when they're inside a smoky building. As you know, visibility is usually very poor inside a structure fire.
Right. So then are there any risks in training in a building like this versus going just training at the station or advantages, anything like that?
There's some advantages to this. One, they're not familiar with this building, so it's easier for us to teach them search and rescue, and they won't know their way around the inside. And it's designed for firefighter training. There's always risk with training, but out here with a properly designed building and facility, we minimize that risk to our firefighters during these training evolutions.
Okay. So Charlie, I see 3 trucks. How many rookies does Lakeville have, and how many are training total between the 3 departments?
We currently have 6 firefighters in our rookie training, and there's approximately 25 firefighters between the 3 departments here.
Okay, so what's next for them after a night like this?
We have a couple more weeks of more basic evolutions and basic training, and then we're going to move into in January into live burns and a little bit more advanced and put everything together, so that they really know what it's like from start to end on the fire ground.
Okay.
As far as operations go.
So they'll be doing live burns in the building in January?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Charlie, so I know when I trained, we had class twice a week. We started in the spring, we ended in the fall, and that was it. What is training like for these guys now?
Now they start, this particular class started in September, and they will go all the way through February and end with hazardous materials. Actually in March, they'll end with their certification test. And a lot of the training is online now. We do our book work online, so we can save time from them having to be in the fire station, so they do their online work first. Then when we come into the station, we reinforce at the beginning of class, and then the rest of the 4-hour class is spent doing practical evolutions.
All right, great. Well, thanks for being here with us tonight, telling me all about what the rookies are doing, and good luck with the rest of the training.
Thank you, Chris.
When we come back, Fire Chief Mike Meyer highlights a grant we received from the Public Safety Foundation.
Welcome to another edition of Chief's Corner. I'm Fire Chief Mike Meyer, and today I'm joined by Penny Zern from the Lakeville Public Safety Foundation.
Hi, glad to be here.
Thank you for being here. And today we're going to talk a little bit about what the Lakeville Public Safety Foundation is and how you support police and fire within the city. So
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about the foundation and kind of how it got its start.
The Lakeville Public Safety Foundation is a nonprofit organization that raises money for our police department and our fire department to help enhance public safety in general in the city of Lakeville by enhancing the police department and the fire department.
Penny, could you give us some examples of what you've done for the police and fire departments?
Well, tonight, for example, we're here at the City Council meeting to present the fire department with a new Sparky costume. Sparky is the national mascot for the fire department, and he's out in a lot of different public appearances and promoting fire safety, so we're proud to present that new costume to our firefighters.
Excellent. We thank you very much for that.
Absolutely.
How about from the police side, as far as some of the initiatives that you've helped them with?
Recently, we provided funding for a new sonic gun cleaning tool, which will save our officers hours in really accurately cleaning their weapons, which will save them time as well as make them more efficient when they're out in the field. We also are providing funding for the Shop with a Cop program, and this allows children to go out with a police officer and purchase gifts for their family members, and they'd otherwise be unable to do so. Excellent.
So obviously you're a nonprofit, so how do we raise money, or what are the events that you do to help raise money so that we have grants that we can...
We have a number of events that we do throughout the year. This year, for example, in the spring, we'll be doing our second annual Fields of Fire event, which is a paintball event between the fire department and the police department. The public is invited to join us as well to be out in the field and have a little paintball competition with our police department and firefighters as well. We also do the Police and Firemen's Ball in the fall, where we present the annual Policeman of the Year and the Fireman of the Year award. That's also a fundraiser that contributes to the Public Safety Foundation. Anybody in the public is welcome to visit our website, which is www.lpsfmn.org. and they're free to contribute to the fund there as well.
Okay, and your website also has information as far as some of the initiatives that both departments are looking for and gives more background on
More
the
background on the
foundation.
foundation, more information on how to get a hold of us via on the phone or email or as well as mail. And then it also does talk about some of the things that the police department and fire department are going to be looking for from the Public Safety Foundation in the future.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for the Sparky donation.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you being on the Chief's Corner.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. We have had some interesting calls for service recently, including this one where a toy rocket caused a fire at a home on Huntington Path. The rocket was launched, but ended up in a pile of debris next to the house. About an hour later, the house started on fire right where that rocket had landed. Thankfully, the occupants of the home smelled smoke and called 911 right away. Crews arrived before the fire could really get going, so damage was minimal. Also in mid-November, crews were called to the Queen Anne Mobile Home Park on a structure fire. The fire started in a shed and quickly spread to the nearby home. Firefighters quickly got the fire under control, but the home sustained major damage along with a neighboring unit. Cause of the fire was determined to start from electrical wires located in the shed. Crews were called to the Country View Mobile Home Park, located off Pilot Knob Road recently, on a report of a car in the pool. Sure enough, someone drove their car through a fence and into the pool. The driver was able to get out and no injuries were reported. In a somewhat similar incident, the driver of this SUV ended up smashing into the front of a local strip mall. The driver was okay, but the vehicle did suffer quite a bit of damage. The building, by the way, hardly had a scratch on it. We had 3 rookie firefighters recently complete their training. Josh Rupert, Zach Wise, and Kevin Peters all were sworn in at City Council meeting to become official firefighters for the department. Members from their family were involved with the honor of badging the new firefighters during the ceremony. Congratulations, Josh, Zach, and Kevin. While we recognized 3 new firefighters, we also recognized Brad Ansel on his retirement after 20 years of service on the department. In recognition of his retirement, Brad was honored at a City Council meeting where he received a shadow box. Brad held rank as a firefighter, lieutenant, and captain, serving both stations 1 and 4. He was also able to serve with both his dad and his brother on the department, and that's where he met his wife. Thanks, Brad, for your years of service to the department. And as you heard from the chief earlier in the show, the Lakeville Public Safety Foundation awarded the department a grant for a new Sparky outfit. The old one was wearing out, and it was time for that Sparky to retire. The foundation presented a check at a city council meeting for the new outfit, and everyone got to check out our new and improved Sparky. And finally, in mid-December, LFD hosted a blood drive at Station 1. Thanks to all that donated blood to make this a successful event. And that's just some of the happenings around the fire department.
Hi, I'm Tim Schwab, firefighter from Station 3. Today's Ask a Firefighter question comes in from Joe. And Joe asks, in the winter, does water ever freeze in the trucks and hoses? Thanks for the question, Joe. Winter does add a challenge to fighting a fire, including water freezing. That's one reason all of our trucks are stored inside. This keeps the water in the trucks relatively warm. Now, most of our trucks have a pump that can circulate the water. This is turned on during cold weather to prevent it from freezing. The only exception is our brush trucks. They hold less water and don't have a recirculating pump, so those trucks have the water removed for winter. Now, while keeping the water from freezing in the trucks is easy, keeping it from freezing in other places is a little more difficult. Water in our hoses and other equipment could freeze if left still. To keep it from freezing, we keep the water moving. Just spraying a little bit of water will keep the hoses from freezing solid. Of course, once water hits the cold air, it can freeze very quickly. So oftentimes, firefighters, structures, and other objects get covered with ice, making firefighting that much more challenging in the winter. Thanks for your question, Joe. If you have a question for Ask the Firefighter, use the contact information on your screen.
Everyone, it is I, Spot the Fire Dog, because I like to spot and stomp out the fires. And this month, we are doing our winter fire safety quiz. And helping me to do this quiz is my good friend, Mr. Squirrel. How are you today, Mr. Squirrel? Oh, I see that you've got one of your nuts there. You going to hide that so you can eat it during the winter? Yeah, very good. All right, well, Mr. Squirrel, let's get to the first question. Question number 1. How often should the furnace be serviced? Is it A, monthly, B, once a year, C, when it stops working, and D, never? What do you think, Mr. Squirrel? We don't have all day, Mr. Squirrel. Ah, that's right, it is B, once a year. Yeah, that's a pretty good, Mr. Squirrel. Good job. Now, question number 2. How often should you test your smoke alarm? Should it be every day, once a week, every month, or annually? What do you think? Mr. Squirrel? Mr. Squirrel? Get back over here! What do you think you're doing? If you're going to help me with the quiz, you have to behave.
Okay.
All right? You weren't even listening, were you?
No.
No, I didn't think so. Well, the answer to number 2 is C, every month. All right, now you're going to listen this time?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 3, what type of container should be used for cooled fire ashes? Is it A, plastic, B, metal, C, styrofoam, or D, paper bags? What do you think, Mr. Squirrel? You got the niche, Mr. Squirrel? Now you feel better? Again, you weren't listening, were you? No, I didn't think so. So the answer is B, metal. Oh boy, has he got the temper. Goodbye, Mr. Squirrel. Better handling this by myself anyway. Next question. Who should be cleaning the chimney of your wood-burning fireplace annually? Is it A, the fire department, B, a chimney professional, C, your Uncle Larry, or D, your neighborhood squirrels? All right, were you listening this time? All right, what's the answer, Mr. Squirrel? No, it's number B, professionals. Yeah, you want to make sure that you have a professional cleaning out your chimney. All right, next question is, why don't you do the next question, Mr. Squirrel? Go ahead. Carbon monoxide is what? Okay, I got it. Now what are the choices? Smells like burning wood. Is odorless. Will wake you up. And burn your eyes. All right, how about B? It's odorless. Hey, Mr. Squirrel is dancing. Yeah, very good. All right, the next question. Carbon monoxide alarms should be installed where? Only in the kitchen, in the garage, outside each sleeping area, or attached to the furnace? Well, what do you think about that one, Mr. Squirrel? Well, guess. No. Try again. No, try again. There's only one more choice left. It's C, outside each sleeping area. You don't listen very good, do you, Mr. Squirrel? You're too obsessed with your nut. All right, next question. What should be a feature of a space heater? A, an automatic shut-off. A B, a reading light. C, a retro rocket. Or D, a landing parachute. Get it, space heater? Do you like that? Like a capsule? What are you doing, Mr. Squirrel? So do you know what the answer is? What? No. You should have an automatic shutoff for your space heater. Yeah. All right, here's another one. The most common cause of a space heater fire is A, left unattended, B, malfunctions, C, placed too close to things that can burn, or D, not turned off. I wish I could turn you off. Anyway, the answer is placed too close to things that can burn. Hey, have you ever had your tail burned? Smells like smelly squirrel hair. Ugh. All right, we just got 2 questions left, so make sure you're awake. All right, you ready? Do you need a snack? You want to eat your nut? Do you ever eat that, or you just have it? How is that attached to your hand? Is that sewn under your hand, Mr. Squirrel? Now he's throwing the fit. All right, next question. The leading cause in home heating fire is what? A failure to clean heating equipment or chimneys, heater too close to things that can burn, mechanical failure, or heater left unattended. What do you think, Mr. Squirrel? Now he's flying. Are you a flying squirrel? Are you like Rocky the Flying Squirrel from the old Bullwinkle Rocky show? Oh, well, why don't you fly south for the winter? The answer to the question is A, failure to clean heating equipment and chimneys. All right, are you ready for the last question, Mr. Squirrel? All right, no. You've been a little tough to work with. You know, if Hollywood calls, you have to be much easier to work with. Yeah, there you go. All right, our final question. Give me a do-do-do-do. Which should not be used to heat your home? A, central heating. B, fireplace. C, oven. D, a stovetop. Or E, a gray squirrel with a nut. I got you on that one, didn't I? I threw that one in. It should actually be C, an oven. You don't want to turn on the oven and try and heat your home. Very, very dangerous. So did you like this year's quiz, Mr. Squirrel? Did you learn a lot of stuff? Were you listening? Maybe for about half. All right. Well, I think we did a good job here between me and Mr. Squirrel, and I hope you guys did a good job with the quiz. So until next time, this is Spot the Fire Dog, because I like to spot and stomp. Help me stomp. Stomp out the fire. We'll see you next time, everyone. Oh, you stepped on my toe, you squirrel. How do you like this? See you next time, everybody.
Thanks for joining us for another edition of On Call. If you have questions, comments, an idea for the program, or would like to send a question in for Ask the Firefighter, please call 952-985-4700 or use the email address at the bottom of your screen. Thanks for joining us, and all fire units are clear.